worried over some hitches that occurred in all parts of the country during the March 28th elections. The Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) is how to ensure that some hitches do not reoccur. You may recall the widespread challenges with the card readers, the late deployment of personnel and materials in some polling units, which delayed accreditation in most states. Tonight, we'll examine efforts being made by Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) to tackle these challenges before the April 11 election. We have a date with an INEC official who feed us into the future plan. The umpire. It's my pleasure welcoming you again to this edition of the program. My name is Nigerian Umayo. Thanks for being there. As the Christendom celebrates Easter in commemoration of the resurrection of Jesus Christ, President Goodluck Jonathan has urged all Nigerians, Christians in particular, to seize the opportunity of the holiday and reflect deeply on what the people should do as a nation to ensure the successful conclusion of the ongoing political process. The president noted that this year's Easter celebration is taking place at a period of very critical national choices and decisions during which we must be prepared and willing to make sacrifices for the greater unity, peace, political stability, and progress of the country. He noted that having already successfully scaled the hurdle of the presidential and national assembly elections, he is hopeful that the gubernatorial and state houses of assembly elections will be peaceful. President Jonathan said that the collective action of Nigerians on March 28th has launched Nigeria to the League of Advanced Democracies, assuring the international community that the democratic spirit of Nigerians is alive and well in the nation. And as Nigerians celebrate Easter, First Lady Dame Patience Jonathan wants them to continue to imbibe tolerance, virtues of love, peace, and kindness, which represent the essence of the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ. The First Lady, in a statement, also asks Nigerians to seek the face of God for the nation as the new government prepares to embark on the task of moving Nigeria forward. Dame Patience Jonathan also urges Nigerians to use the period to pray God to grant leaders the wisdom to provide purposeful leadership for the peace, progress, and prosperity of the nation. In the same vein, the Senate President, David Mark, has appealed to Nigerians to renew their faith and commitment to the ideals of nationhood, especially during this period of transition. In his Easter message, Senator Mark specifically reminded Christians of the need to remain steadfast and promote religious harmony between and among various groups as the needed panacea for peace and unity of the country. He noted the checkered socio-economic and political challenges facing the nation, saying with collective will and cooperation of all, the difficulties can be surmounted. Meanwhile, the Federal Capital Territory Minister, Senator Bala Mohammed, has called on Nigerians to be Christ-like by exhibiting the virtues of love, sacrifice, tolerance, and peaceful coexistence. In a statement, Senator Mohammed said the Easter season calls for sober reflection by all Nigerians and renewed zeal to rededicate themselves to the service of God and humanity. The minister appeals to FCT residents to continually be their brother's keepers, irrespective of religious inclinations, and pray for Nigeria's prosperity at all times. The family, as a major unit of the society, needs to be properly nurtured to enhance the peace, unity, and development of the country. This was the center of discussion at the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints Family History Discovery Day in Abuja. Correspondent Joseph Orok reports that the church also appreciated Nigerians for the peaceful conduct of the March 28th presidential election. The report.
Easter, the trial and crucifixion of Jesus Christ, it is imperative that people look beyond the celebration to the lessons of sacrifice and redemption of mankind as exemplified by Jesus Christ. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints at its Family History Discovery Day, stressed the need for families to hold family tree meeting to ensure that the family contributes positively to the society.
Family history work, especially here in Africa, is important to the church to be able to cherish them, to hear the stories, to learn from the stories.
The Abuja State President of the Church, Professor Edima Okubong, while applauding Nigerians for the peaceful conduct of the March 28th election, urged people to give the president-elect the necessary support.
INEC has pronounced a leader, a president-elect. All of us have to go with him and wait for him to do that which we have elected him to do.
Joseph Oro, NTA News.
Sustained grassroots politicking is a veritable tool in the nation's nascent democracy. Nigeria's President-elect Muhammadu Buhari said this while receiving a delegation on a congratulatory visit from Katsina and Gombe states. Correspondent Ismail Musa reports.
State delegation, the state APC chairman Mustafa Inwa, while expressing their joy for a long-awaited victory, noted that Nigerians have lots of expectation. He, however, noted that it will take some time to be achieved. Senator Danjuma Goje, former Gombe State governor, who led Gombe State delegation, called for unity among party members at all levels. To ensure sustenance of the development of the party, Muhammadu Buhari, Nigeria's president-elect, stressed the need for internal democracy at all times.
Whoever wants to win election under APC, he should subject himself to the rigors and processes of APC.
In Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
The president-elect Muhammadu Buhari has been receiving phone calls from world leaders congratulating him on his victory at the just concluded presidential election in Nigeria. Latest among them are United Nations Secretary General Ban Ki-moon, Turkish Prime Minister Recep Tayyip Erdogan, Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro, Chadian President Idris Deby, Denis Sassou Nguesso of Congo-Brazzaville, and Alpha Conde of Guinea. A statement by the Director, Media and Communications APC Presidential Campaign, Garba Shehu, says the president-elect had also received calls from Kenyan President Uhuru Kenyatta, former U.S. President Bill Clinton, and former British Prime Minister Tony Blair. The world leaders also praised Nigerians for a peaceful conduct during and after the elections. Muhammadu Buhari assured the world leaders that Nigeria will remain a responsible member of the international community. He, however, called for support in tackling Boko Haram insurgents in Nigeria. Second Republic President Alhaji Shehu Shagari has congratulated President-elect Muhammadu Buhari over his victory in the presidential election. In a congratulatory message, Alhaji Shehu Shagari described General Buhari's victory at the polls as an indication of his track record of service to the nation, which endeared him to the Nigerian populace who massively voted for him. While congratulating Nigerians in ensuring a rancor-free elections, the former president also commended President Jonathan for his foresight and patriotism in accepting the election results. He described President Jonathan as a true statesman and Democrat who has earned the respect of Nigerians and the global community. The Radio, Television, Theatre Arts Workers Union. Now we take a story before that particular story, and that's on Igbo's congratulate President Jonathan, or the Shetima Ali Monguno actually commending Jonathan and Buhari. Let's go to that story. An elder statesman and the First Republic Minister of Petroleum Resources, Dr. Shetima Monguno, has congratulated President-elect on his victory and urged him to lead the country to the path of honor. Correspondent Muhammad Ibrahim reports.
Dr. Shetima Ali Monguno, the first Nigeria Petroleum Resources Minister, is among the 50 most prominent Nigerians awarded in 2010 by the federal government to mark Nigeria's 50th independence anniversary. The elder statesman says Allah has granted the prayer of Nigerians for successful conduct of elections, and this led to the earning of more respect globally for the country.
This would be a good example. People would proudly come out feeling that it's they who are now responsible for electing or selecting whoever they would like to lead.
For the President-elect General Muhammadu Buhari, Dr. Shettima said since the sitting president accepted defeat, he should strive to be a president for all, irrespective of differences, and called on the people to pray for the success of the next administration. In Maiduguri, Muhammad Ibrahim, NTA News.
The Indibo in the 19 states of the Northern Region and the Federal Capital Territory has congratulated the President-elect Muhammadu Buhari for his resilience, doggedness and determination which produced the meritorious victory in the March 28th presidential election. The group under the Igbo Delegates Assembly also praised President Jonathan for his humility and love for Nigeria, which they say he exhibited by initiating the most credible, free, fair and transparent electioneering process in the country. The chairperson, Yeye Odua, Chief Mrs. H.I.D. Awolowo, and the entire members of the Yoruba Unity Forum, the umbrella body of the Yoruba socio-cultural organizations in Nigeria and in the diaspora, have congratulated the President-elect and the President and the Vice President-elect Muhammadu Buhari and Yemi Osinbajo. The group advised President-elect to carry all Nigerians along in the new dispensation as the hope and aspirations of citizens are high. The President-elect to fulfill all the expectations of Nigerians. The task of rebuilding the country, the group says, requires the cooperation of all. The Yoruba Unity Forum pledges to support Muhammadu Buhari and his team in restoring greatness to the nation. The Radio, Television, Theatre and Arts Workers Union, RATAO, has congratulated the President-elect General Muhammadu Buhari. A statement by the General Secretary Henry Odugala, the union acknowledged what it calls the historic role of President Goodluck Jonathan for providing a conducive atmosphere for free and fair election, as well as conceding to the winner. Similarly, the Council for the Regulation of Engineering in Nigeria, COREN, in a congratulatory message, noted that his choice by the people is a manifestation of the confidence Nigerians have in his ability to turn things around for the better. The president of the council, Kashim Ali, called on the elected president to use his wealth of experience to move the engineering profession in Nigeria forward. Buhari Friends Organization has appealed to the President-elect Muhammad Buhari to reintroduce the war against indiscipline Y as part of the immediate measures to turn the economy around. The national coordinator of the group, Saint Oko, made the call in Abuja at a meeting with the stakeholders to appreciate them for their success in the March 28th presidential election. Correspondent Edina Justice was there for us.
The stakeholders meeting was principally a celebration of their victory at the recent poll, where General Muhammadu Buhari was elected as president of the country. Mr. Okon, while thanking the members for their perseverance, assured them that the positive change that Nigerians voted had finally come with the election of General Buhari. He said the party, on assumption of office, should tackle corruption in public places.
Sanity has to take place in all spheres of our polity, so that by tomorrow, we and generation unborn can be proud of Nigeria. To seeing that our major refineries are put in full production capacity, eliminate multiple taxation in the country.
He's been a head of state, and more other things he's been, and yet he's been incorruptible.
The coordinator commended the Nigerian media for maintaining balanced reportage during the presidential election.
I must personally appreciate the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA. Despite speaking from the government opposite side, as we were made to believe and feel, they professionally tried at all times to balance the story.
Buhari Friends Organization Network, which started about 2 years ago, was among the foremost Buhari support group that started the call for the general to contest the 2015 presidential election. Edina Justice, NTA News.
The national president, Northern Youth for APC 2015, Alhaji Haliru Maiwa, has commended President Jonathan for his rare display of maturity, statesmanship, good sportsmanship, and love for Nigeria. Speaking in Abuja, Alhaji Haliru explained that President Jonathan exhibited good spirit by congratulating the president-elect midway into the announcement of the presidential elections by Independent National Electoral Commission. By this conduct, Alhaji Haliru says President Jonathan has written his name in gold as one of the best Democrats and nationalists in Africa.
I want to commend our dear President Goodluck Menasara Jonathan for his rare display of maturity, statesmanship, good sportsmanship, and love for our dear country, Nigeria, by congratulating the President-elect midway into the announcement of the presidential election by Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, led by Professor Atahiru Jega.
He urged all Nigerians to turn out en masse and cast their votes for candidates of the APC in the April 11 governorship and Houses of Assembly elections. Adamawa State All Progressive Congress APC has organized an interfaith prayer session to thank God for peaceful 2015 elections. Correspondent Tafawa Hamuza Mayo has more on that.
According to APC Adamawa State, the success of the elections is victory for democracy. Hence the prayers and promise to incorporate more hands for peace and tranquility. Clergy from the two major religions, Islam and Christianity, offered prayers for peaceful transition.
And we say thank you because you are God.
Some of the participants said the session is timely.
Whether you are happy, whether you are sad, you have to thank God.
For guidance, for protection of those that have been elected, and having a peaceful transition.
We also pray because we have next election, which is coming 11th of this month. We are seeking for the help to Almighty Allah to assist as He assisted us before.
In Yola, Tafawa Hamza Mayo, NTA News.
Now, how to consolidate the successes gained in the March 28th elections and correct the lapses recorded before the upcoming April 11 governorship and state houses of assembly elections, and towards improving the democratic process in Nigeria is a subject for discussion this evening on Weekend File. But that will be much later in the course of the program. For now, let's take a break.
Looking for this?
Mommy, you're the best.
Can you see it the way that I'm feeling?
You always know what's best, Mom.
All I ever really wanted is here with me. It's my family.
Now that's different.
It's the same Gino tomato paste, but in a convenient new pack.
Expensive?
Not at all. It costs even less.
Mom always knows what's best.
Gino truly cares.
Here is a misconception of the well-off and successful.
We actually absolutely love to be pampered.
Chocolate in the hotel room. Love it. Champagne on a first-class flight. Love it. Gift baskets, coupons, and all that great stuff. Love it, love it, love it.
So when they tell us that with a Glow postpaid plan, you get a Glow high-speed internet data bundle,
Flexible minutes to call any network locally or international destinations at any time of the day, and free SMS. What did you really think we were going to say? Yes, please.
Get exceptional deals with new Glow postpaid smart plans for smart people. Call 080-500-2200 or contact your Glow World manager or any Glow World outlet for details. Go ahead. Glow Unlimited.
Who be those ones? Those now the INEC people wey want do this election well for us. Those small youth coppers. See, they no go fit stop me from cause wahala. I go bust that person head. No. That one na old school. They no do that one for here. But I think you say you ready now. I ready with my voter's card. Your power for this place, that be your voter's card.
People of Nigeria, shall we don't hear the youth coppers and people where INEC they use for this election? No be our enemy. Their work are to make sure and help us vote the proper way.
So make we cooperate with them on election day. Make we no quarrel or fight with them. Now for make this election better for we all them day. Make we also know say security men they are ready to deal with anybody who want make trouble with any of them during the election. This message now from Independent National Electoral Commission with support from European Union through the UNDP Democratic Governance for Development DGD2 project. INEC, we dey make your vote count to make our democracy stand gidigba.
Chioma, I bet you can touch your nose with your thumb. A nose? It's the same with your toilet. There are many places in your toilet that detergents cannot clean. That is why the new Harpic 5 times complete gives you 5 times better cleaning than detergent from the rim all the way to the U-bend, making your toilet completely clean. With Harpic 5 times complete, you will definitely reach all the hard-to-clean places in your toilet.
Harpic Power Plus. Buy now for only 350 Naira.
Every time you get on the pitch, nothing feels better than giving 100%. When you hear the sound of thousands of our fans roaring, you just have to. And for us, nothing's better than Chivita 100%. With 100% goodness and 100% satisfaction. Go all the way with 100% or nothing. Chivita 100%. 100% or nothing.
It's the ShopRite Lowest Prices Easter promotion, where we've bought more than ever, so you save more than ever. Like Pepsi, Mirinda 7-Up 500 ml bottles for 79 Naira 99 kobo. 6-can pack of Malta Guinness for 579 Naira 99 kobo. And with our massive selection of more than 200 different kinds of Easter eggs, there's even more reason to come and shop with us this Easter. ShopRite, lower prices you can trust, always.
Dreams lie before me. Gotta seize the moment. Do you see it now? The sky from within. Oh, what a feeling. Oh, what a feeling.
Hollandia yogurt. Feel the goodness within. Flaunt the goodness outside. Hollandia yogurt. It's all good. House of...
You're watching Weekend File on the network service of the NTA. As the world celebrates the just concluded presidential election in Nigeria, Chinedu Obike in this background story reports on matters arising from the polls.
The 2015 presidential and National Assembly elections may have come and gone, but the landmark developments that occurred in the process will for a long time form a reference point in the nation's political discourse. For the first time in the history of the country, some have observed, a government in power was voted out by the people. A sitting president conceded defeat and congratulated the winner.
This is the first time where a contestant has called his rival to congratulate him.
He has refused to accept the result. The things that will probably happen in the country will have gone the way some doubt and Thomas had predicted.
Strength and the willpower to keep this country together, bind together as one country, was created by President Goodluck Jonathan when he conceded defeat to the incoming President-elect General Muhammadu Buhari.
This is the first time I'm seeing a sitting president concede to election victory of the opponent without any rancor or acrimony.
Beyond the presidential result and the reactions that have trailed it, There were several complaints bordering on the card reader and other issues associated with the conduct and management of the elections.
In the southeast where I come from, and a good part of the south has reported, we had the challenge of the card reader, militarizing the process, the involvement of the military, the involvement of the police in the electioneering process. It's not worthy of mention. It's most unfortunate.
And for us in Anambra and Abia and Imo, we also have the same complaint. So if you look at it, there were lapses in terms of what INEC had to offer to the, to improve a multi-party democratic process.
Like INEC has repeatedly said, it has not substantially affected the outcome of the elections, and so we affirm the results, and we just pray that everybody will be peaceful.
The Independent National Electoral Commission attributes some of the lapses to human errors, and it is expected that the governorship and House of Assembly elections shall witness an improvement on all counts.
That's Chinedu Obike's reports there. And now, as INEC prepares for the April 11th governorship and state houses of assembly elections, the imperative of adequate training of staff deployed by the commission has been thrown up. Selo signed reports from Benin that suggestions about exploring the option A4 alternative for the future elections were also made.
Personnel deployed for the elections, the respondents said, appear inexperienced and not adequately trained, as handling the sensitive materials was a serious challenge. The introduction of the use of card readers was praised by the people, but advised INEC to fine-tune the process to avoid the challenges faced in the last elections.
Materials must get to their designated spots early. That is a major problem for INEC. The introduction of card reader is also an improvement in the process of eliminating malpractices in the process of our elections.
On the gains recorded, which included the use of card readers and transparency of the process, they solicited its sustenance.
They will learn from the past, start off early, so that by 8, accreditation has started, and maybe 12, not everybody has started voting.
Gubernatorial and state assembly elections are expected to hold on the 11th of April. In Benin, Selo Sande, NTA News.
From Sokoto comes a report that, like in other parts of the country, minor glitches were recorded which still need to be attended to before the April elections. Here is Muhammadu Nasir's report on that.
Verification field. Please put your finger.
The issue of card reader not recognizing thumbprint of voter has been the common problem recorded at many polling units in Sokoto State. Similarly, at some polling units, the machine completely failed until replacements were provided.
The problem is only how to operate it, and we have complained where there is a problem.
Whether thumbprint is accepted or failed, you will still cast your vote once your details, that's your name, age, everything is in the register.
The issue of late arrival of INEC ad hoc staff with election materials was minimal, though most of the ad hoc staff are co-members who are not familiar with the terrain they were posted to. The entire electoral process was, however, said to be a huge success, despite the little hitches in some pockets of areas.
Our suggestion and advice to the Commission is that they should work toward addressing them and trying to discipline where the lapses are clearly from their own staff or from the ad hoc staff or from whatever angle squarely.
The Independent National Electoral Commission Sokoto offices, measures are taken to address the lapses recorded to achieve 100% success.
Now we have perfected our plan, and these core members, they have already known their polling stations, and we have already replaced the failed card readers, and in the next few days we'll go back to the field, and the elections we hope will be 100% okay.
The INEC solicited support from all to achieve the set goal. In Sokoto, Muhammad Nasir, NTA News.
Nasarawa State is part of the teeming population of the country that participated in the 2015 Presidential and National Assembly elections with high expectations and enthusiasm, especially as the permanent voter card and card reader were introduced by INEC. Correspondent Jaime Abubakar examines the elections in relation to challenges associated with the use of card reader as well as late arrival of electoral materials. The report.
Nasarawa State was among those 12 states earlier selected to test run the efficacy of the card reader prior to the election, and the exercise held at Garaku in Kokona local government area was successful without major challenge. The March 28 Presidential and National Assembly elections witnessed an unprecedented turnout of voters. Even though electoral materials arrived late in most polling units, voters waited patiently to exercise their franchise, but with accreditation conducted beyond scheduled. NTA news crew, which covered the election in the 3 senatorial zones of the state, observed that even though the election was slightly affected by the late commencement and the malfunctioning of some of the card readers, the election was, however, generally peaceful. Some of the voters who participated in the exercise commended INEC for providing a level playing ground to exercise their franchise through the use of card reader, which, according to them, has changed the political landscape of the country.
Hip-hop was that the mass turnout of the people has shown that people are out to exercise their franchise.
The turnout is okay, except that machine is giving us problem.
Another scenario was the cancellation of over 75,000 votes at Karu and Nasarawa local government areas due to reasons currently being investigated by INEC.
So some of them probably, some people understood it clearly, but some were not as fast. So they were making mistakes here and there.
This election that has just passed, we have observed a lot of achievement.
The idea of a card reader, of course, it is novel in this country. My wish is that one, they will work on the card readers to see that they really work well ahead of time.
Observers are of the view that all the identified grey areas should serve as a guide to improve in the subsequent elections. In Lafia, Jamil Abubakar, NTA News.
In this next report, Musa Toliat takes a look at the shortcomings associated with the polls in Lagos and the possible ways of addressing them ahead of the gubernatorial elections next week.
Arrival of sensitive materials, low performance of the card reader or outright rejection of the machine, as well as inadequate security agents at some polling units were some of the challenges experienced by voters during the March 28 elections.
So the security that was there was too little to control the people.
The card reader in my ward and my polling unit wouldn't pick my finger prints.
These challenges, electorates say, may have been responsible for the pockets of protest that characterized the announcement of results in some areas in Lagos State.
We'll take this to the tribunal and we will recover our mandate back.
In spite of these shortcomings, the presidential and national assembly elections have been widely adjudged credible and peaceful.
The election was very good, free and fair.
He has tried up to 80%. It's okay.
However, both the voters and the politicians are emphasizing the need to address the challenges experienced during the March 28 polls ahead of the governorship and states assembly elections.
I reside in Kaduna and now I work in Lagos. I should be able to vote wherever it is I have.
Due to inadequate of transport, that was why most of them get to their polling units late.
And if they still want to continue using these union buses, they should have enough security men that will follow this buses from one point to the other to make sure that the drivers and their buses are safe.
There are those who believe that only concerted efforts on the part of the electorate can help consolidate the gains of the elections.
INEC should begin to train and retrain his staffs that are going to use the electoral materials.
The more that the government isolates itself from the entire process, the better for all of us.
The governorship and states assembly elections are scheduled to hold on April 11 across the country. In Lagos, Musa Tolian, NTA News.
Introducing Smart Connect, we get plenty awoof to allow you talk, text,
and browse nyafu for tinny money. Igwe. Say you know say with just 200 naira recharge card, Airtel they summer me with 200% bonus to yarn more with any network.
Now you not call me your fiance.
Relax. In fact, I don't buy your own address in as correct person. Anytime I recharge 200 naira and above, Smart Connect they summer me with free internet to browse. If you want to make your family follow you enjoy, buy your 4-in-1 family pack for the price of one. Oh baby.
This girl too, na family and friends.
No carry last to buy your Airtel SIM today.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
Taste the nectar of paradise. Chi exotic nectar in pineapple, coconut, multi-fruiter, and other exotic flavors. The taste will take you there. Chi exotic nectar, escape to paradise.
From the House of Chi. At ShopRite, we've used our massive buying power to negotiate the best prices for you this Easter. Like Royal England 12-piece porcelain dinner set for 3,299 naira 99 kobo. Essentials 1.7-liter corded kettle for 1,799 naira 99 kobo. And Premier 7-piece cookware set for 4,999 naira 99 kobo. So, save more than ever with our lowest prices Easter promotion. ShopRite. Lower prices you can trust always.
Good day, Nigerians. I am Dr. Nena Ezigwe, the National Coordinator of National Malaria Elimination Program under the Federal Ministry of Health. I have an important message. Malaria passes from one person to another through mosquito bites. Pregnant women and children under the age of 5 are the most affected. Even one mosquito can cause malaria. How do you play your part? Keep your environment clean. Drain or cover water containers around your house. Sleep inside long-lasting insecticidal nets every night. Pregnant women should register early for antenatal care and also request for intermittent preventive treatment of malaria in pregnancy at each antenatal visit. Spray your homes with good quality insecticides that kill 100% mosquitoes. We can do it. Join the fight and let's stop needless deaths.
This public message is brought to you by
You're welcome back. I am now being joined in the studio by Mr. Oluwole Osaze Uzi, the Director of Voter Education in the INEC, that's Independent National Electoral Commission, to discuss the issues raised in the course of this program tonight. Mr. Uzi, you're welcome to the program.
Good evening. Thank you for having me.
Right. Let's begin this way. Late arrival of INEC staff, coupled with the lack of some electoral materials, actually delayed accreditation in many parts of this country on March 28th presidential election. How do you intend to address this issue as we are, of course, warming up to the next election next week?
Thank you very much. The reasons for the late arrival of personnel and materials varied accordance with the parts of the country you are in. In a place like the FCT, for example, we had issues with our logistics, the transporters, because we had reached an arrangement with them, but unfortunately, halfway through the game, some officials tried to change what was previously agreed on. So it took the intervention of other people to get things going again. So in that particular case, in other cases where we want to airlift, for example, with helicopters, bad weather intervened. So those kind of things, it varies from one part to the other. But it's a very serious challenge for us, which we have gone, the INEC Commission has gone back to the drawing board and say, how do we avoid this kind of situation? In the case of the National Union of Road Transport Workers, we felt it was better to negotiate with the union and get into a memorandum of understanding with the union as a whole and not on individual basis. That generally, I think, has worked much better, generally speaking. But obviously, there are places where it hasn't worked as well as we hoped it would. So each particular case is different. Each particular case is being looked at. And within the next couple of days, we're taking strategies, we're strategizing to ensure that there is a much better logistics delivery come April 11.
Now, the issue of smart card reader, of course, that one is one of the major issues raised even in the course of the election, and INEC quickly, took a decision to ensure that the card reader did not actually obstruct the elections by instructing that you could reverse to manual verification process.
Yes.
Now, certainly you are going to use the card reader once again.
Definitely.
Yes. And
definitely.
What has been done this time around to improve on it?
Well, we've gone back to the drawing board with the technical staff. We've asked them to look at the way that it can be, if there's any way it can be fine-tuned, such that we have a higher percentage of verification than we did in the last election. So the technical people are actually looking at that, and we're ensuring that we cannot procure more, but the reserves we have in the store, we're ensuring that all of them work optimally on that next day. But certainly we will use the card readers, and the idea of overriding the card readers and going on to manual was a particular one for that particular day. So we're going back to I think generally from your reports, from reports we have gotten, the card readers were quite a success, contrary to what insinuations some people are trying to make of it. It was quite a success, and we definitely will deploy the card readers yet again.
Yeah, Mr. Saze, what happens if card readers fail one more time in all parts of this country? Because from information gathered, the card reader actually failed in almost all parts of the country, not necessarily in all. It's not, the percentage is very minimal actually.
That's the point.
But the issue is that there's no part of this country that did not witness card reader failure.
I will not use the word failure. They had challenges with the card reader, but I will not call them failure. Where if you look at the total percentage, out of 150,000+ units, how many did actually fail? How many resorted to manual? When you look at the statistics, it's minimal. But yes, there were challenges in almost every polling unit. But especially earlier on, people complained of that. But much as the day went by, maybe better handling and everything else, it was a much more faster, improved process. And everybody who was verified with that card knows that the card reader is probably much faster than even the manual accreditation.
Now, that takes us to the issue of training of your personnel, because we also gathered that some of your staff could not peel off the protective seal in the card reader. That also contributed to some of the challenges that the card reader had.
Yes, there were text messages and emails flying around about that. Yeah. It came to us as a surprise because it was one of the basic procedures that they were trained on.
Yes.
If you have a mobile phone, some people like to leave that protective seal for a while. It happens to almost every electronic device, your TV, your mobile phone, and everything else. It's so
that should have posed any challenge. Is that what you're saying?
Not a significant one, but some people on the field said the minute they removed it, things improved. So obviously all the card readers have their protective seals removed presently. So I think we'll see better performance if that's
now what is being done to check the problems of lack of ballot papers and the inadequate materials that necessitated postponement of elections in some parts of the country?
How many parts? Federal House of Representatives in Jigawa State, and 7 in Jigawa, 1 in Delta State.
But that's we're lucky, it's 1 or 2.
It was a mixture. So not in several parts, there were very, very few parts. But it was available, all of the materials were available everywhere else. And that has been attended to. And the elections in those 7 in the whole of the House of Reps in Jigawa State and 1 in Delta State will be taken on April 11.
Now, what lessons actually, would you say that INEC has learned, in this outing? Because we are going to face another election next week. What lessons generally have you learned? And are there areas that you intend to improve upon, apart from the areas we have already mentioned here, that you need to improve to ensure that the final lap of the election, will be properly, conducted?
In every human endeavor, in every exercise, there are always lessons learned. There are positive lessons, there are negative lessons. But the essence is that in everything you do, you learn from mistakes, you learn from the things you have done well, and you try to improve to get things better. Those you haven't done well, you try to do better on them. And those ones where you have done well, you see whether you can even do better on those along those lines as well. Lots of lessons, lots. The Commission has not rested since the conclusion of that exercise. Even after the presentation of certificate, the Commission went to a meeting. We've all been dealing with the challenges, identifying the challenges. Some that people are not focusing on, for example, is the as far as we are concerned, the Commission, a high number of invalid votes. That was particularly disturbing. In one state, it was as high as 7%. In other states, it averaged 4 to 5%. That is disturbing, and we want to increase voter education engagement to tell people that the correct way of thumbprinting or fingerprinting, you can use any finger to ensure that your choice is clear, and that there's a case, of example, of somebody who forgot to mark his ballot and put it in the ballot box. But of course, it was too late for the president to say, no, bring it out and things like that. So we have to sustain and increase the tempo of our voter education messages come April 11. That is one of those areas.
Yeah, because that's particularly your area, in
INEC,
voter education. Now, some people complained that they applied for card transfer, perhaps people who were moved from their original residence, and they needed to vote, but they couldn't. You couldn't, transfer them accordingly to enable them vote elsewhere. Is that a possibility in the first place?
Yes, of course it is. It's been done severally, even before now. Recall that the present governor Obiano in Anambra State transferred his registration from Lagos to Anambra State. The then ACN candidate in Ondo State transferred his registration from Oyo State, Chief Akeredolu, transferred from Oyo State. So, and thousands of people, before the Osun election, thousands of people transferred. Before this election, a lot of people have succeeded in doing that transfer. But the transfer must be concluded not later than 30 days to the election.
30 days to election. That's 1 month before election.
1 month for the election.
Now, in terms of electoral offences or irregularities, if you like, how did the March 28th election fare?
Better than most, but we don't get lost in the euphoria of saying it was a good election. There were instances of cancelled results because of violence, because of, in one or two particular cases, there were the number of votes cast appeared to be more than the total number of accredited voters. That is an obvious red flag, and that election will be cancelled. So anywhere where there's violence, anywhere where there's threat, anywhere where we cannot vouch for the sanctity and the veracity of the claims made, then definitely the elections will be, question mark will be put and investigated, and if the returning officer is satisfied, he will cancel the result. If he's satisfied that no substantial irregularity occurred, then he will go ahead and accept the results. So those things bother us as well, yes.
Mr. Uzi, you notice that voter apathy is again on the increase, if you like, because many people did not turn out to vote. If you check the number of those, about half of those who registered actually came out to vote. And even those who came out to vote, not all actually participated. So does that worry you?
It certainly does. Two issues arise here. But before you say there's voter apathy is on the increase, there must be a basis for comparison. So what are you comparing with? When you compare with previous elections, I think it is on the increase. The apathy is on a decrease, and the participation is on the increase. But we're particularly bothered that almost 2 million people who got accredited did not actually come back to cast their votes. That is a worrisome thing. Also, when you look at the total number of people who collected their PVCs, they showed a desire to participate in the process. Quite a lot did not either did not bother or did not take part in it. Yes, it bothers us because democracy is all about participation. Everybody participating, it's not everybody cannot go to the House of Reps, everybody cannot go become a senator or become president, but you can participate by casting your vote for those who will represent you. And you lose the moral right to criticize people when you have not participated in the process.
Now, let's conclude this conversation by looking at the issue of underage voters, which actually persisted. And then the March 28th election, some observers pointed that out. So how do you intend to tackle it in the next election?
Well, underage voting starts from underage registration. If underage people have voters' cards, then probably they will attempt to vote with them. But we've given directives to the electoral officers to ensure that those who are obviously underage should not be allowed to vote, even if they have a voter's card. But at the time of registration, we had some challenges. Some people come up and say, this is my child. I gave birth to him. I don't have a birth certificate, but I gave birth. When in the rural areas, probably due to malnutrition and everything else, he has stunted development. And the mother comes, or a father comes, this is my child. And sometimes the communal people, they say, yes, we know this, the child is 18. What do you expect a young copper young member to do in those circumstances? We have tried to clean the register. Some that were very obvious, we remove from the register and say, look, if you feel that you should be there, come with proof of your age, and we'll do that. It's still a disturbing factor, and it's something not too much can be done between now and April 11th, if the truth be told. But directives have gone out. Those that are clear, if a person is 13, it's obvious that person is not 18, but there's some borderline cases of people maybe 16, 17, 19 who they might look older or younger than their actual age. That is a challenge.
Mr. Oluwole Osaze Uzi, I'd like to thank you for coming on Weekend File tonight. At least people have heard from you, and we're wishing you all the best as you organize the next and, of course, the final phase of 2015 general elections in Nigeria. Mr. Oluwole Osaze Uzi is the Director, Voter Education and the Independent National Electoral Commission. This is Weekend File. Let's take another break.
Good day, Nigerians. I am Dr. Nena Eziwe, the National Coordinator of National Malaria Elimination Program under the Federal Ministry of Health. I have an important message. Malaria passes from one person to another through mosquito bites. Pregnant women and children under the age of 5 are the most affected. Even one mosquito can cause malaria. How do you play your part? Keep your environments clean. Drain or cover water containers around your house. Insecticidal nets every night. Pregnant women should register early for antenatal care and also request for intermittent preventive treatment of malaria in pregnancy at each antenatal visit. Spray your homes with good quality insecticides that kill 100% mosquitoes. We can do it. Join the fight and let's stop needless deaths.
This public message is brought to you by.
Do you crave class? Do you have taste? And do you care about comfort? If you do, then for your next event, a stay away from home, a business trip, or a holiday, visit Jade's Hotel at 24 Undola Crescent, Wuse Zone 5, Abuja. Check out our world-class services, exquisite suites, restaurant and bar, gymnasium, spa and grills, and our outdoor catering services and cuisines. At Jade's, it can only be better. For bookings and reservations, visit us today at 24 Undola Crescent, Wuse Zone 5, Abuja, or visit www.jadeshotels.com. Our email address is info@jadeshotels.com.
You can also call us on 09291-9321 or 0810-909-7956.
Jade's Hotels, welcome to life.
Good people of Nigeria, during the general elections, accreditation of voters will take place in all polling units from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. Card readers will be used to verify the permanent voter's card presented by each voter. Names of voters who pass the verification by the card reader will be checked in the voters register and duly accredited. Voting will commence at 1:30 p.m. till the last person on the queue has voted. Do not come to the polling unit with another person's voter's card. Keep away from the polling unit if you do not have a permanent voter's card. This message is from the Independent National Electoral Commission,
supported by the European Union through the UNDP Democratic Governance for Development (DGD2) project. INEC, making your vote count, consolidating our democracy.
Sports now. Preparations for the men's national basketball team on course ahead of the All-Africa Games. Victory for Serena Williams at 2015 Miami Open. Plus, exciting games from the Barclays Premier League. Henry Efium has details in our sports update.
President of the Nigerian Basketball Federation, NBF, Tijani Umar, says efforts are being put in place to ensure that the men's national team, the Tigers, get adequate preparations ahead of the 2015 All-Africa Games in Congo-Brazzaville. The NBF president said the best of a blend of home and foreign-based players will be presented to defend their title at the Games.
After qualifying for the AfroBasket, to now see how ready we are, begin to put in, all the right things, see who makes the team. It will be a mix of the home base and the foreign base. And then after the Stankovic tournament, we'll begin to, see how the coaches will whittle down the team to the 12 best and the 12 to go to the AfroBasket in Tunisia.
In tennis, world number 1 Serena Williams continued her dominance of the WTA Miami Open with a record 8 titles Saturday evening. Serena Williams eased her way to victory over Carla Suarez Navarro at Crandon Park.
Thank you for believing in me and supporting me for all these years. I love you so much. Thank you.
Andy Murray will take on Novak Djokovic in the men's final on Sunday. And in the Barclays Premier League, which is now on the home stretch, produced some audacious goals in Saturday's games. Leaders Chelsea maintained their chase of the title, beating Stoke City by 2-1. Arsenal ran riot at the Emirates, annihilating Liverpool 4-1 to cement their top 4 position, while Manchester United left nothing to chance in securing a Champions League slot with a 3-1 victory over Aston Villa. In some of the other results, it was West Brom 1, QPR 4, Everton 1, Southampton 0, while Leicester City beat West Ham by 2-1. With sports update, Henry Efium, NTA News.
And finally, for tonight, we be safety conscious and dial these emergency numbers in case of a security breach, courtesy of National Security Advisor.
The Office of the National Security Advisor says for all cases of suspected insecurity, please call or SMS the following numbers: 070-5727-4630, 070-5727-4632, 070-5727-4633, 070-5727-4634, 090-9622-3788, 090-9622-3816, 096-303517, 096-303520, 096-303522, 096-303523, 096-303525.
Well, and that's our package for tonight on Weekend File. Let's do this again next Saturday. From all of us in the studio, is good night.
Breaking the news.